Well, hey, how y'all doing out there today? Listen, this afternoon I want to talk about something that's a very ugly subject matter, I guess as usual, but it has to deal with our children. And an article that a brother of mine named Joe just sent to me, and thank you, Joe, because it's opened up a whole new can of worms inside my thought process that I'm actually glad about. It reminded me of our future. The article that he sent me was about a man with a Muslim sounding name that had took his son and had 11 other kids and 3 women, and it was out in some kind of compound in New Mexico. And that this man with a Muslim sounding name was raising kids. At least one of the 11 children had been trained to do school shootings. Okay. School shootings in America is a very touchy subject because we don't know what the hell's going on. We don't know what to believe. So this article out of the Washington Post of all places would raise some eyebrows and think, oh man, a man with a Muslim sounding name is raising school shooters. Fear, fear, fear. Like, will we ever get rid of Alex Jones? But anyway, on a serious note, so I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about the like, well, maybe this guy, because in other countries they use children and they start them out very young. A matter of fact, from around the ages of 2 or 3, and raise assassins. Uh, a child from the ages of about 3 to 6 is at its most impressionable years, at the peak age of 5. It's taking in the most information it'll ever take in, what it thinks is right or wrong, what it thinks is good or bad, what it thinks is normal and not normal. A kid's going to take in at 5 years old all this information. So, sure, that's the perfect time to raise an assassin, to put somebody on a mindset or a life path of being a killer, like the Russians did back in the late 50s to the late 80s, raising women to marry rich men, but they were actually just spies. I mean, we've used children and this impressionable age to raise them, to train them. Let's just be straight up. To train kids to be what we want them to be. Now, where I don't think this man with the Muslim sounding name from Jonesboro, Georgia, that went out to New Mexico and made a compound was raising school shooters, but I do think that he may have been raising assassins for the future. Like I said, this is nothing new. I mean, let's look at it this way. You got Venus Williams and her sister, the greatest tennis players of all time. Their dad raised them to be tennis players. Okay. Tiger Woods' dad raised him to be a golfer. Some people raise their kids to be football players, to be volleyball players, to be ice skaters. Look at Nancy Kerrigan. Look at the way things are. Then sometimes people steal children, like Elizabeth Smart, and she was trained to be a sex slave for a man for what, 20 years? Come on, man. We can make children do what we want, and this is a power in our minds. I mean, we wonder why the world is a piece of shit. We wonder why 8 billion people have destroyed a planet. It's because we never allowed the next generation of children to be raised to love this planet, to love themselves. No, they're always being what we want them to be. Well, all I ever wanted my children to be was honest. Huh. I just wanted my children to be honest. If you did something, tell me so I can guide you. Not so I can beat you, not so I can make you what I wanted you to be, not so I can make you do what I want you to do. Just so you be honest with me so I can help guide you. We've got to look at each individual child like these predators do, like these governments. Where do you think them 11,000 children that we just stole from and kidnapped from Central American families? There's like 3,500 to 4,000 of them. They don't even know where the hell they went, much less found their parents. They can't even find the kids. Do you think these kids that are between the ages of about 2 and 12 in that impressionable time period of their lives could be raised to be assassins, could be raised to be anything, could be raised to be sex slaves? Because when you sin, I'm gonna be honest with you, because when you get mad and get mad at me about this, or you can say, Bill, you're off base, because as a parent, you're not going to want to admit this. But we ain't doing no better by our kids by sending them to a school, a federal indoctrination program, than what these people are doing. Because we're training them to be slaves. We're training them to be obedient. We're training them to comply. We're training them to look at a pseudo authority figure and bow down to it. We're training them that taking drugs in the classroom in front of your classmates is okay. We're training them that the answer doesn't matter in mathematics. What are you raising? You're raising a blithering idiot that does not think for itself. And that's what the New World Order wants. That's why the federal indoctrination program that you call school is a success by making us 30th in the world on education. So I just think about the power that you have inside of you as a parent, as an uncle, as an aunt, as a mother, a father, a sister or a brother, a friend, a guidance counselor, a deacon at church, Boy Scout leader, whatever you are, a friend, a human being, to help mold and guide a child, not train and direct and program. We do not train, we do not direct, and we do not program children. Y'all, that's what these people do. That's what people like this man in New Mexico do. That's what the United States federal government does. That's what people all around the world, dictators, it's what you hated China for. That's what you hated the Soviet Union for, was brainwashing their children. Yet we brainwash our children. Hell, we ain't even got enough time for them, and then we bitch when our kid ain't around when we want them around. We're like, where's my kid, man? He ain't never around when I want him. But when he wants to be, otherwise you got him on a video game, or nobody plays outside no more. No, I hate getting upset sometimes because I get off track. The main point is there's something good about this. Here's the good thing about it. We can raise a generation. We can talk to the generations we've raised. We can look inside ourselves at how we were raised. And we can change all of this, y'all. We can change all of it. Because we just, instead of training, we guide. And instead of programming, we observe. We just observe. Watch where these children go. Watch how they bloom. And you mold that and you guide that. You work with it. You don't work it to what you want. What we want has always been the best. We just want the best for our children. That's all I've ever wanted for mine. And I figured them being honest and open would be the best way for them to live their lives with all kind of people all around. But what goes on around the world, what's going on with our very own government, what we've just seen here recently, it's very real. And it's a very powerful thing. If you think all that MK Ultra stuff and all that, and you think, oh, that's conspiracy stuff, why would they make assassins? Why would the CIA make assassins that you can cut on and off? Well, I don't know. Why would the former Soviet Union take beautiful women and turn them into spies and marry rich men? I don't know. Why would you want to train assassins? I don't know. Why would you want to train suicide bombers? I don't know. But people do it. That don't stop the fact that people do it, that governments do it. They do it all in the Middle East. That's how desperate they get. When they don't have the same weapons, they use the weapon of the mind. That's a powerful weapon. And it's most powerful as a child. So remember, around the ages of 5 years old, a child, you took in the most information that you was ever going to take in your whole life. What we do with children that age now is very important. So think about that as you see what's going on. Love your child, but make sure it's some tough love. We got to stick with the natural realm. Y'all got to come back to the mother. Please think about that. Your food, your medicine, your water, your very health, your very lives are all fake. Please come back to the mother. She will show you the way. And I'm not talking about some entity. Let me put it in regular human terms that you mankind will understand. Come back to the natural way of being. Eat natural food, drink clean water, think good thoughts, live a good life, get out of the rat race. That means coming back to the mother. I'm sorry I always sound so zealous about it, but I love my planet. She's beautiful, and she loves children. Because you ever noticed how children can get away with falling down? Bumping, they're going to get up off falling down the steps, and they're going to be broken, and they get up and they're giggling and they're just laughing it off. But what do they do first? When a child takes a big tumble and it gets up, before it cries, before it laughs, what does it do? It looks at mama or it looks at daddy, and your reaction to what happened is how they're going to react. So if you go, oh, look at the baby, it fell, and that baby's going to be like, ah. And if you go, oh, look at you, Junior, get up, son, what's wrong with you? They'll be like, ha, ha, ha. If you laugh it off, they'll laugh it off. If you show fear, they'll show fear. You show drama, they'll show drama. That's a lot of power, but with power comes responsibility, and remember that too, because what you put out And you may not believe this. Now, I don't believe in the sins of the father and all that bullshit. That's some bullshit. But I do believe that your children's actions, to a certain degree, do reflect on what you put into them and how much you love them and how much you coddled them and then how much you raised them and how much you guided them. It's a big difference in some of this stuff. So think about that today. And listen, as far as this thing in New Mexico, for Joe, and that you sent me this, so I'll give you my personal opinion. I don't think that this man is raising school shooters. I don't know what he's doing out there. It looks like he's not doing it very well. Got one man, 3 women. These women have, some of those kids are theirs. 11 kids, and one of them they're saying was trained for school shootings. Sounds like the Washington Post is playing into the New World Order school shooter agenda. To me, now this is just me, but I do think the man is poor, and I don't think that he's any different than Tiger Woods' father or Venus Williams' father. But instead of raising a sports star to make them money, I think he was raising assassins to make him money. I think he was training and programming kids to make him money. So he's a piece of shit, and he should go down. I don't think he was out there teaching kids how to defend themselves, Lawrence. I heard you, brother, and I looked into that. But this is that same guy from Jonesboro, Georgia, back in the day, talking about he was going to get back by, using MK Ultra, CIA shit, and all that kind of stuff. So whatever. I don't know what he was doing. There's a lot of weird people out there, and we got to watch out for them because we got our kids, and they will snatch up our kids, by the way. That was something else I wanted to point out on this. We are living in a day and age, but this is nothing new, y'all. It's just something you don't think about because you don't want to, because it's dark and it's ugly and it's evil. But people kidnap kids just to kill them, just to rape them, just to take their little life light. Some people are just that evil, and they will take your child. So hold your child close. Don't you trust that fucking school. Don't you trust that teacher. Don't you trust that police. Don't you trust that government. Don't you trust that doctor. Don't you trust nobody when it comes to your children. Yes, I believe the community raises a child under the watchful eyes of that parent. There you go on that. The community raises a child. Parents, it's up to us to keep our eyes peeled. And you moms, that's why you got them extra eyes in the back of your head. You can see forwards and backwards. That's why women can pay attention to more than one conversation, because they're always paying attention to them kids. That's natural. That's why I say come back to the mother. Learn your skills, ladies. Learn your skills, mothers. Learn your skills, fathers. Because you got some natural ones in there, instincts. They're called instincts. Use them. But we're living in a bad time for people stealing kids. All this crap going on about kids ain't no joke, y'all. And it's all we got. When you die, and you haven't put a part of yourself into another little small human being we call a child, and you'll never carry on. How's your spirit going to carry on? Don't you believe in anything anymore, America, or the world? Don't anybody believe in anything anymore? What we do good here and do into another, we carry on, man. Let's carry on some great things. Let's carry on some loving things. Let's carry on some beautiful and life-oriented, natural things. Let's pass it down. I like that. I like that a lot. I love y'all. Keep your eyes open and watch what's going on. Because, man, there's some weird people. Like I said, as far as these kids go, hey, y'all, it's our future. I think you know what to do in your hearts. You don't need me to tell you nothing about that. I love y'all. Peace, and don't live in fear.